Okay, let me share the link. Pick up the mic and talk to the people. All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning to our host and co host here. We are here at Dos Amores, just getting everything set and ready for our episode today. You know how it goes on Fridays when we gather, and we are the technical team as well as the social media team at this point. So we're just making sure that we have everything posted so that those that want to join are able to see our live, can catch us while we're going live and ask questions in the comments so that we could answer during our episode. So, good morning, guys. Welcome. It is so good to be here today. It's Friday. As you know, it's been pretty busy, I'm sure, for everyone as well, with graduation coming up, all their kids graduating pre-K, kinder, all the way to high school graduation coming up. So, yeah, it's been pretty busy, but definitely exciting. I know Edna last night when we were talking, I don't think she even slept. She probably got like a couple hours of sleep, okay, making lays. And here she is, bright and early and ready to start the day. Not only did she barely get any sleep, she woke up early too to make sure that she was at the event that she had to be at today. So thank you, Edna. Thank you for being here with us today.
But I think that's what I love about making lays. There really is a beautiful ritual and a tradition about making them.
Yes.
Especially when I make them. I always get like, Edna, how do you do that? It takes us such a long time. But when I'm making them, it should be more of a community making it together.
Yeah.
But anyways, while
sure.
I'm making it by myself, I do truly think about the person I'm making it for.
Yeah.
Because when you think about like they're graduating from school, whether it is pre-K or a senior, like waking them up every day and then having to get them dressed and then going through the sick days and then parents having to work out the schedule to who's going to pick up who this day for the kids and then the sports activities. So truly take the time to enjoy the celebration because when it's over, it's done. And then we get to look back and where's some of the things that we did take the time to celebrate. So take your time, celebrate your loved ones, your children, because it's, and celebrate yourself too, okay,
exactly.
Parents?
Okay.
Because you were a part of that journey just as much as your student was. So
yes, very true, Edna. It takes, in a year, so much can happen, as we know with the things that we're in, the organizations, and so much can just happen in a year. So I'm just so excited for what's more to come. And at the same time, we get a break. Okay, the summer is here. Everyone gets a break. Kids get to sleep in and just enjoy life. Exactly. But we are here at Dos Amores, and we just want to say welcome to another episode of What Anna Said podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and hand the microphone back to our host, Anna. just pass it. Thank you so much, Kim, for that beautiful introduction. Yes, it's been a busy time right now. Right now is busy season in May because of graduations. We got to watch Edna as she did. She was in her auntie bag this week. Lay after lay, graduation after graduation. This girl has been on a roll. Even after this, she got things to do. So thank you so much for being here and making time. Making time for us here today.
Your job.
Right, yeah. Thank you for not calling in today. Thank you for showing up. Okay. But yes, it's a busy time, and so it's also it's a celebratory time, and I know graduations are coming up this Sunday for a lot of the schools in our district, and I know that everybody's gonna pull up deep because especially Pacific Islander families, you pull up and your kids and your uncles and your aunties and your nephews and nieces. Exactly. So that's gonna be a beautiful thing to see.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. So it's just 2 days away. And you're gonna see a lot of the love and the labor of love that's put into the lays and stuff that you're gonna see on these grads this coming week. And I know that my son, his his promotion ceremony going from second grade to third grade just passed. And what I love about being in this community is that as a mom, I showed up and didn't bring anything. Yeah. Okay. I didn't have time to make his lays. So I showed up empty-handed. But the great thing about going to school with other Pacific Islander families is that my cousin Nana was there and her son was also graduating, and she walked over with the lei that they made for him, and that was so special. Yes, and I'm just so thankful for this community, because that's how it is. It doesn't matter if I know you or not, especially if you're a part of the community and I see you. We're gonna give you a lei. Somebody has a lei for you.
It truly is an act of love. Like when I make leis, I always make sure that, especially the candy ones, I make extra because I'm thinking about the other children. We're thinking about our children's best friends, or the ones that we can see. I know there's a couple of years where I saw a child without a family there that could, they couldn't make it. Give them it's just something. It really is an act of love, and there's so much love that pours into making them and sharing them, and the brightness that comes to the children's eyes. And like you said, even us and as adult, like you thought about my child. That's what that does.
Yeah, exactly, and that's true. It's the thought behind creating it and going out of your way to make something special for someone else, especially someone else's child. So yes, but here we are. Last week we got together. Hello, Tele. We're saying hello to Tele. He's here behind the camera here at Dos Amores. He's always here with a smile, always quick to greet us every single morning that we come over here. As you guys know, we have our podcast here at Dos Amores in Hearst every single Friday, and almost always you will also see Dele here anytime that you come in. So say hello to him the next time you guys come in here to Dos Amores. But yes, like I was saying, we are here, guys. Did you guys picture yourselves here? I know I did. I know last week I was thinking about the ceremony and how special it was and all the work that went into it, and I was thinking like, wow, I can just imagine the days after when I get to take it all in. When I get to reflect on how beautiful the ceremony was, which it was. It was beautiful.
We definitely look more relaxed than last time we came and talked about it, because we're tired, but also we weren't done. We're just never tired because we are done, and that was so amazing and so beautiful. So we really did enjoy that time.
Yes, it was a beautiful ceremony. We had it here last week, Sunday, here at Dos Amores, just on the other side of this wall, actually. So we're sitting in the lounge right now, but Dos Amores also has an event center, and that's just on the other side, right here next to us. And it was a beautiful space that we were honored to be able to love on these families and to celebrate the scholars and their families and really hear out their stories. It's always my favorite time of year when we get to, the students have their own award ceremony with the schools, but we also have our own under the organization where we get to really dig into their stories, hear their dreams, support what it is that they're committing to. And so that's what we got to do on Sunday. It was a good time all around. But before we get into that, I kind of wanted to go into just the journey that led up to, these scholarships. We were talking off camera before we came on live, and Edna was asking us, or Edna, would you like to ask the questions that you had for us before we?
Yeah, because we're on the topic of what we're speaking about. The question I had was, how did the Gato Tatica Foundation come with wanting to celebrate or give out scholarships? Because I know being a part of it, even though we haven't sat down and really spoken about it just yet, there's so much meaning behind it. There's a reason why that was created. We're not another foundation just want to do another good thing. There is a passion, there was a calling behind it, there was a legacy behind making this, and I just wanted to hear it from you guys. What was that? What was the fire that started what we see today?
For sure. You want to go first, or if I talk, I'm going to talk the whole time.
Yes. Thank you, Anna. Yes. So thank you, Anna, for asking that question. So it just takes us back to, talking about our grandfather and how our grandfather came here to America and to bring his family along to give us this life, that he wanted in the islands, but the islands can only, can take you so far. So he had this dream to come to America. And whenever he did come here to Texas, into Euless, there was a family that took care of him and just his community, that really took care of him so that he was able to eventually bring all of us down here. So with that same hope, we wanted to give back to the same community that gave to him so that we were able to come here by having these scholarships and also having these programs for kids, because we weren't born here, but we are like the first generation here. Our kids are first generation born here in Texas. So as we came from the islands and graduated and, wanting that life for something more and seeing the need that needed to be met here, that this connection between, the islands to the States and then from teacher to student. And we wanted to be able to fill in that gap for these kids here. And so that's when we decided, maybe we should start the scholarship. Always had this dream to be able to give back to these kids. And then at the same time, something that we would have wanted when we were in school and also coming out of high school, just having that mentorship and that leadership, someone that can take us along and say, hey, you can do it. These are the steps you need to do. These are the things you need to file. So just trying to be that, that stepping block for them so that they can be able to achieve their goals and dreams as well.
Yes. Thank you, Kim. That's correct. When we first started in 2023 or 2020, yes, in 2023, in our inaugural year of doing the scholarships, I remember that has always been something that has always been inside of us, that dream of more, that longing for more, that yearning for more. I know, with you've seen some of that too through the book, through going through the series Formed Underwater, and seeing that through my father's point of view, the author of that book, and seeing his dream of coming here and the pursuit of more, and being met with several barriers, whether it was financial accessibility to things, or just the knowledge, information, that problem, that's always been a thing, especially I think, immigrants, especially whenever you're going into a new land, there's several areas where you're lacking the information or the resources to be able to really push you forward in achieving the thing that you want to achieve. Whenever we first, Kim talked about my grandfather a little bit, and shared about how it came through us wanting to honor his journey as being the first person in our family to bring us here, to really make that trek over here to Texas, and the community just warmly, welcoming him in while he was working to make a way to bring his family, and wanting to honor not just his sacrifice, but also that spirit, that pioneer, that trailblazer, just going, I always say, going through uncharted waters, literally just thinking about the crossing over the waters to come here to America, and doing something that has never been done before. And that's a hard thing. That's not a thing that a lot of people experience. And those who have can testify to the truth about the difficulty of doing something that has never been done before, whether in your generation or in your family, in your area. And so we wanted to honor that spirit. And so when we brought that to the community, it was something that, we always talk about that truth in the scripture where we say that, we man have your plans, like we have our plans, but the Lord's will prevail. And so the idea that we had to do one scholarship in the very first year, just one scholarship, and we wanted to, to present that to the community and have that going, and it just turned into what it is today. We
did
just
9.
Right, yeah, we just celebrated the award ceremony this past Sunday, where we celebrated 9 promising young men and women who are going to do great things, and just seeing how the dream has developed, how the vision has developed from the beginning, where we set out to do just one, and to honor that, and to see what it has grown to today is a really beautiful, overwhelmingly beautiful thing. Yeah.
I did lie, because I think I said that I didn't get to hear that story, but I said that because I wanted to hear the story again. It's such a beautiful story. It was a couple of years ago that you guys shared that with me, and I remember sitting there, because though that's not my grandfather, but that's so many of our grandfathers. There's so many of our people. That is a story that all of us out there can, within our people, can understand what it means. Like, we can literally cry when we think about the work and the dreams that our parents came across the ocean to come here and pursue, and then getting here to unfamiliar territory, and many of the dreams to stop, and they stopped dreaming to allow their children to continue on dreaming. But what I love about your father is that he's keeping his father's legacy going on, and keeping that dreaming mindset continuing on, and allowing him his legacy. The legacy is literally allowing him to still live, allowing other people to continue to dream. Even at I love, we always say, like, if there is still breath in your lungs, the purpose is still yours, and it's still yours to fulfill, and continue on pursuing those things. And I think that is I know, like, thinking about our it wasn't just about our recipients. I kept looking at the audience. Like, this is for you guys. Do not stop. Continue, whatever that is. And we got a lot of responses. I remember one reached out to me and said that she wanted to continue because of what she saw through the children and what was going on, that she wanted to go back to school and finish it. And I was like, you started it already? You're almost there? Yes, go and finish it. Because that is what we are doing, dear grandfather, keeping that alive. And so it's such an honor to be a part of something, knowing where it came from. That's really that pushes us to continue on doing what we're doing. Going from one recipient to 9 within the recent years, that's a crazy amount to accomplish.
Thank you. Yes, it was definitely, you shared about people who were there, who reached out to you and said how it encouraged them. But even us, like even me, every single year that I hear these children and these kids and their stories, and I listen to their journey thus far and what it is that they want to do and why they want to do what they're pursuing, that is always an encouragement for me.
And they always mention their parents. They always mention their grandparents,
their village
who came.
Exactly. Yes, and I love how we can take that the passing the baton to the next generation, and the next generation recognizing that and honoring it by taking it a step further. And I think that that's a responsibility, especially as children of immigrants, that we have, that we gladly take that, because we see the sacrifices that from our family members that have come before us, and how they position themselves to give us our best, to put our best foot forward. And so in that same way, we need to do the same thing for ourselves and for those that come after us. And so just, speaking for myself, every single year, just sitting there and being a part of it, and being a part of the energy in the room, and just seeing, like you said, not just the recipients, but even their families, and this moment, being for them as well, and beyond them, because when they win, our community as a whole wins. Our community as a whole takes a step further. And so it was a beautiful thing to be a part of, a beautiful thing to listen to, and something that I love to, for our organization, the Castati Foundation, this year was our first year to be able to award college students. When we first started, our focus was the high schoolers, to be able to remove that financial barrier, to be able to tell them, hey, to be able to open the door to possibility, because, like we talked about last week on the podcast, it's not about the money. It's about the belief that comes with it. It's about a community saying that, you can do it. Everything that you could never imagine, like, now these things are possible. You can do it, and we support you, and we're rooting for you. And so being able to add the college recipients, which we'll talk about a little bit more personally, how it affects us here at this table. But being able to add the college kids to this year, that has also been something that's really special to me, and to hear their stories, because these are kids that are already committed to their future. They've already made the commitment. They're already in school, in college right now. And so to be able to walk alongside them and say, hey, you're doing it, and we see you, and we are supporting you, that has been a blessing to be able to do this year. Yeah. But coming back to the ceremony, I know I just shared about how wonderful it was for me to be a part of that and to see. I want to give some time to you guys, if you guys want to share that before I go on to my next question here. But Kim, I know that Kim had a lot of fun, because I was dragging her around with me as we were preparing for last week's scholarship ceremony, and just, the thing is escaping me right now, my mind, but just
setting up.
Yeah, just the beauty in the details of everything. And so Kim, just share a little bit about that for you, and then whatever else.
Yes, thank you, Anna. So when we were here last week at our episode, as soon as the cameras cut, me and Anna got in the car. We're letting her go. And I think she had something else to do too. And plus we were like, you go rest. So me and Anna literally ran around the entire day on Friday until I had to go home so someone can go to work. And then the entire day on Saturday, we're still running around just to get everything, we're picturing the ceremony. We're playing it through our head. When we walk through these doors, how should things be set up? What do we need to get? All the little details that really make the awards ceremony special, and also showcase everyone that came that we believe in you. All these little details, to make them feel special and
and honorable. And so we ran around doing all these things, and me and Anna kept playing, okay, yeah, do this order this, get this, just for us to order, right, our Amazon packages. And they were supposed to arrive the next day on Saturday, and they never arrived Saturday. Now it came Sunday, and we got this U-Haul that was supposed to have all these balloons that we blew up the night before, but we didn't get the balloons on time and the backdrop that we wanted. And I'm over here because I'm stressing out, because I'm all in the details, especially decor. I love doing decor. Me and Anna's the decor of our family. We're putting all the decorations together, okay? And just for the decorations to not arrive on time. So luckily, me and Anna running around, we paid attention to like what balloons they had. So we know if it doesn't come, we have this backup. If this doesn't come, we got this backup. So sure enough, we took what we had and we just used what we had and set up everything. And it was just so beautiful. But I do remember the night before, I was stressing out very much, because if I wanted a certain way and I don't have what I wanted, and the local stores here didn't have the backdrop I wanted, so I felt defeated. And Anna was like, "We got this. Let's run with what we have." So sure enough, everything turned out so beautifully and put everything together. And as a person that's also in these organizations, but also during the ceremony, taking a step back to really take in everything that was happening, it was honestly so beautiful and so rewarding and so fulfilling to be one of those people that was in attendance that night, to see that the entire room was packed. We had to bring chairs. Like Anna said, the venue is right next door, their event center, and we needed more chairs. So we sent some of our lines over here, go grab chairs on the other side and bring it over to this side. Because like we said, Dos Amores is like our home, okay? So we're like, grab their chairs, bring it here. We need more chairs. And every single chair that night was filled. Not only that, me and Anna, right after worship on Sunday, we came over here, rushed, started setting up every single thing. By the time we were done setting up, I think it was like 3:00, 3 something. And all of our recipients were supposed to be here at 4 p.m. I told Anna, get ready right now. I had to run home, pick up my husband because he worked the night before, wake him up, get over here just to get here by the time I got here, it was 4:12. Everybody was here. All the recipients showed up before 4:00, and our little Champs family, which was so awesome just to see them show up. We gave them a time, and they showed up before the time. They showed up before I showed up. I got here at 4:12. By the time I came, they were all here, and the room was already starting to get filled. So it was just, like I said, it really was beautiful. It was so beautiful and so meaningful and so impactful. And I'm so blessed to be part of these organizations and really showing these kids that we believe in them, and not just them, but also their families and friends that came that night, letting them know that they too have a purpose, set out before them, and they can make a difference. And I'm just so excited for what else is to come. But also Edna to share your experiences that night as well.
Yeah, but just like what you're touching on, them coming early, I love that, because it allowed what I did was go around the room and got to speak with them. These are seniors who have lives, who are going to other ceremonies, who are their schedules and all the things that they need to do last minute. So some of them, we weren't able to, for me, I wasn't able to put a face into these essays. So having to hear them, getting to know them, sit with them and just talking to them, that was really my favorite, because that's when you really get to know them and they feel your energy coming off. And one of my greatest superpower, hopefully, is I love to make, hopefully, I think I make people feel welcomed. And so just allowing them to feel welcomed, allowing them to just talk. And because some of them are a little nervous. But as soon as we got to talk to them, they got to, enjoy the space. This is for you. We did this for you, and all the hard work that Kim pours in, like you were just talking about, which I love. That's for like any organization. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that, because there is so much that goes behind the scenes of a beautiful event. And so I was laughing because I was thinking about Anna celebrating at the end. But we had so much fun. My favorite part was the planning. And then what I was really surprised is that the vision was exceeded more than what I thought it was going to be. It was so much fun being there. I wasn't nervous at all. I just remember just looking out in the faces, especially for our seniors, and remembering, wow, like I forgot what it feels like to be a student. And them getting up there and sharing their stories. And a lot of them, again, brought their parents. And I hate when children talk about their parents, because we were all crying and I had my makeup on, like, thank you, Jesus, for waterproof mascara. And so just having to see their story and then seeing their energy just light up with them. And I think they were also surprised too, because like you said, we weren't I wasn't expecting a full room. Like what we had already prepared was a lot, but we saw people in every corner. And so just seeing the love, I remember we said at the end of your speech on us, like, this is community. And that's exactly what I wanted people to see, was a community coming. First of all, the diversity, and then that truly was community showing. And we did that. So that was my favorite part, doing it with you all, seeing having planning, seeing the vision, and seeing the expectation of it, doing it with you guys. That was my favorite part of it all.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And then one thing that you talked about that I really loved that you brought up was, a lot of people wondering, okay, the school has their own ceremony. Like, why do you guys have to have your own ceremony? That's another thing to attend, which is true. But like you said, there's nothing that can replace seeing them face to face, shaking their hand, giving them a hug, telling them how much their story has impacted you, telling them how much you believe in them and how much it's encouraged you. And they're literally the reason why we do this and why we're doing it again next year and the year after that. And so that's the beauty of having this, is being able to watch them come into their room, is to greet them, is to let them know we believe in you. Like, before we even knew what you look like, before we knew, like all these things, we believe in you, and so I love that you shared that, because that's also true for me. And that's one of my favorite things every year, is really meeting these kids. And when you meet them, you immediately pick up on everything that they wrote about. It shows, it exudes from the way that they carry themselves, and you're like, yeah, this person really is going somewhere. Like, this person really does believe or know why it is that they exist. And I love that so much. But yes, like Kim was sharing, there were so many things, of course, that needed to be done to be able to bring the details and bring this vision to life, and bring it in a way where every guest feels honored and every guest feels, the importance of this moment. And it's because of them. We all showed up here for them. Being in that room, there's, you cannot manufacture that kind of energy. You cannot manufacture that kind of love and positivity. Being in that room and really taking it all in, and just seeing how the village of each of these scholars, their village showed up for them. Their people showed up for them. They were rolling in with everybody, and everybody was there for them, to root for them, to support them, to celebrate them. And I love that, because there was a moment where I was in that room and I was thinking, wow, how beautiful that feeling is, to know that you are surrounded, that every single person you see in this room is rooting for you.
Yeah, and I definitely could tell, I don't know about you guys, but at the end, in the beginning, you getting to know them, you give them a little hug or a handshake. Towards the end, they were holding me a little bit tighter. They're holding me, the parents, the grandparents.
Yeah, we locked in now. We locked in.
The brothers,
Yeah.
Everyone, you can see it, like you said, exuded through their eyes, expressions and emotions, their heart through it. So that was also very rewarding.
Yeah, it was very, very worth everything, worth everything. Like Kim was saying, there was a lot going into the preparations for that evening, and not just me and her, but everybody, all of us, the entire team, everybody behind the scenes working to make sure, to do their part to make sure that this came together beautifully. Everybody understanding the gravity of this moment, the importance of this day, and wanting to put our best foot forward so that these families and recipients were honored. And so that's exactly what took place. And I'm just so grateful to even have a small part of their journey, to even be part of their memory when they look back and they think about high school and think about graduation, and to be part of that story in their lives is really a true blessing, and it's been amazing. One thing that this journey has taught me is, and nobody asked me, I'm just asking. One thing that this journey has taught me is that you really, in the scripture says, write it down, make it plain. Yeah. Like, when we got together and we wrote down these goals, and this is what we want to do this year, to see that go from an idea to right in front of me, to see that idea being manifested right in front of me, and to be done in a way that I couldn't even imagine. Like you said, I knew it would be great, but I didn't imagine it to be that beautiful, and that's all God. But to see that happen in such a way has made me a true believer in everything. Yeah. And just seeing it come to life, and seeing lives being impacted, mine, being impacted, being inspired, that right there is a reward on its own, and that is priceless. Like I can't even put into words that feeling to see something that you think about come into life right in front of you has been a really motivating, encouraging thing for me.
Since you said that, I'm gonna add this, which is not on there as well, but because it reminds me, I remember, long story short, remember that Mickey Mouse book you had? And so your dad, Disney, sorry, Disney
That I had?
book
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
brought. But I remember in our meeting, so we're talking about the story behind Mickey Mouse. And I remember when Walt Disney, in the conversation, when he passed, and then your dad was like, I remember the people was telling the wife, oh, I wish that he was here because he didn't get to see all these beautiful things that he has brought. This is Walt Disney we're talking about. But she said he did. He said he already saw it.
He saw it.
But one of the things that on with that is that, at least for me, about 2 years joining, is that do not write it down unless you see it already. Because before I was writing these things down, but to me it felt so far away. I was like, how is this even going to happen? But as we learned, as we believe, we're not even worried about the why. The why goes to God.
Yeah.
But just everything that we see, like you just mentioned earlier, like I knew it was going to be beautiful. I knew that we were going to do it because we've been practicing writing already what we already see. But like you said, the way that God just took it and just everything, added all the details, including with that, that's what was so beautiful. But like you're saying, to being able to write it down and see it, write it as you see it, that is really, really crucial.
Yeah. Yes, and it's it's a real testimony to that, and to everybody like on our team, writing some, knowing what our goals were and seeing it come to life. That has been the most powerful thing. Like, don't tell me it doesn't work. I've seen it work. This is the third year in a row.
Talk about that as we're coming in.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry. Work on your goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But something that was really, really amazing about that night, really special for us, especially, is because one of our co-hosts, Miss Edna Fry herself, was actually one of the recipients for the first year ever that we've been able to award college kids. And so Edna was one of our recipients that evening. So that was a really special moment for me to be able to see not only her being a host, not only her hosting this amazing event, representing as the vice president for the Lions Club, but also watching you basically walking that stage and walking into your calling, walking into, your purpose, and just boldly, I tell this to all the recipients, but when you're applying for a scholarship, like that in itself is you putting a deposit in your bank, in your faith, bank, saying that you believe in yourself. And so just seeing that, and then a step further than that, being awarded, it was a special
for
thing for me
believing
to
in yourself.
see.
That
Really,
is crazy.
yeah, being awarded for believing in yourself. You believed that you are good enough for this award, and you got it. And so, like that kind of thing is just so beautiful and powerful. And for me to be there and witness it and just seeing it happen in real time was a really rewarding thing for me. And I'm not receiving a check from anybody. But it was a very
giving it.
right, but it was a very, very special thing for me to see that evening. So yeah, I just want to kind of go through your story, because I'm sure people are wondering, like, okay, how did this even come about? I didn't see you anywhere last year, and this year I see you everywhere. Like, you wrote a book, you're hosting these programs, you're getting a scholarship, you're going to school, like all of those things, And so, yeah, I just wanted to take a moment here and just to share your story and to listen to your journey thus far, and then looking ahead to where you're going.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, the how part all belongs to God. So let me just say that first, because as you guys know, I've always wanted to go to school, and we talked about this many times, and I've said it even before I even ever thought that it would ever happen, and which was the issue. But as I have written a book called Breathe, The Courage to Stand Forward. And in that book, I did talk about when my stepdad went to prison and my mother became a single mother, literally having to raise us. I was just entering high school. And so just entering high school and that happening, and just seeing the way that we was sunk under financially, I just stopped dreaming about going to school, because to me, that was what I was sacrificing to help my family. And at that time, I didn't even know yet what I wanted to do anyhow, because of just all the things that was happening and the discouragement and just the place mentally that I was in. I just thought, you know what, it's just never going to happen. It's okay. So I just put that on hold. But of course, as we have spoken about earlier, recently in our throughout our podcast, is that I thought that just being a mother and a wife is just it. And don't get me wrong, that is the greatest blessing. And that's still, no matter what degree I'm going to get, being a wife and mother will still override those things. But the importance of it when I became it, and then going back just to my relationship with the Lord and him bringing back my purpose, and then us having that conversation on a table in fellowship. What is your purpose? And that always was the back of my head. And I remember, as we mentioned so many times, when you're saying, what is it that you're called to do? What is your big dream? And that was one of my biggest dreams, was to go back to school, because at the time I wanted to go into counseling. My job, I wanted to teach in some ways. I didn't know exactly what it was yet, but I knew that was the lane that I wanted to walk in. And so being a part of Casa Tati Foundation, and then this just coming up and a part of it all. I remember the day that I signed up for school was the day I finished a book. And I said, I knew this was, my vision to finish a book, I had written that down, was 2015. Which surprised me, because I kept saying 2016, not a whole year back. I was like, wow, 2015. I wanted to write a book of my experiences, because there was just something powerful about my testimony that I wanted others to read it, because I know that silent is not as silent as it should be. And so anyhow, finishing that book just this year, 2026, wow, so much has happened. It really was a huge goal off my shoulders, because to me, I felt like I couldn't do nothing else until that part was done. There was a reason why that book had to be done first. And so anyhow, the day that I finished the book, I finished it like at 3:00 in the morning, and I woke up at 8, because that was the same day as school registration. And so I registered for school. And so registering for school, I've wanted to go to school, like I said, so many times. I've looked up, I was the kind of person, you know how you go and you're looking at outfits and you're looking at Pinterest. I was looking up schools, and I was looking up just the browsers, going through things. That's always the things that I've done normally throughout the years. I would see the application, fill it out, don't even go through it, because I just love that feeling of just filling something out, and just that feeling of being drawn to that. But anyhow, I said, I finished the book. There's nothing else I cannot do after this. And so I opened up the computer and I registered for school. And then the scholarship, like you guys said, opening it up for those going to college. And I didn't even consider myself. I wasn't even considering myself. Not that I didn't think I deserved it or I didn't want it. I didn't understand. It didn't come to my mind yet. But I remember one of the things that I love about this group is that we empower each other. And like you said, being able to apply for something and get rewarded for just believing yourself, that has been absolutely the greatest reward ever. And I think looking back at all the times that I've gone through and tried to register, it had to happen the way it did, because not only did I finally need to believe in myself, but having a whole community also celebrate me on that stage. There's moments, Anna did this wonderful thing where she had us all line up, and that's when it really hit me. I was like, oh wow, I'm really doing this. I'm really up here. Like, and then looking back at the audience and just seeing the support, that even if it wasn't towards, even though it was towards another recipient, but just being able to have that energy project towards us, standing there and receiving that love from our families and friends and our foundation. I remember thinking to God, like, again, the how part, like, God, you orchestrated so that I can understand the way that I did that day.
Wow, that's so beautiful. You bringing up that moment it put me right back into that, moment up there with all our scholars. And I remember as they were coming up to line up to take a picture, because it gets crazy afterwards. So I wanted to make sure that we got good photos for the families with all 9 of you guys. And once, one by one, you guys came to the front, and as everyone came to the front, and I saw, all the families get up to take the pictures, but not just to take pictures, but to cheer you guys on, to cheer you on your journey, to give you the love that you deserve, and just celebrating you guys in that moment. That was a very powerful moment for me to be there to take it all in. And I remember thinking to myself, like, why did I do that? You know, why did I do that? Because now I have to go
I saw you
home.
across the
Yeah.
room. I'm like, this is the worst thing she ever did to me.
And I was like, why did I do that? Because I need to go home and cry. But yeah, it was just a very beautiful moment to be able to be there in the room and be counted amongst the people that are your village, you know. And so that was a special moment for me to see, and just to hear you come and share your story, you know, so boldly. And I know for me, you know, the title of your book, Breathe, the Courage to Stand Forward, really is, you mean every word, the courage to stand forward. Because I think for me, you know, just reading about your experiences and stuff, I think the courage to hide, like,
Okay.
I would to be able to put yourself and present yourself to the world and to bear your scars and to show that, but it's not for the purpose of sharing trauma, but for the purpose of showing how your story is being rewritten, how that is being repurposed, you know, everything that you have gone through, how it has meaning now, and how it's taking you to this place, and you're being able to, I mean, you're going into psychology, you know, and that's something that you're not just going into this head knowledge, you're going with lived experience. And I think that that's the most important thing when it comes to doing the work that you are doing, and being able to change people's lives and to be able to reach people, because you're reaching into a place that you've already walked through.
Yes, when we had one of our team meetings, and I remember that came up, and you need to go to school for psychology. Or have you thought about psychology? I remember sitting there like, you have no idea. Because like I said, back in high school, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Even though there was no reason, I don't know why I even thought about going into for counseling. I didn't even realize that counseling and psychology was one, like, hand in hand. I had no idea. But I remember that calling was always a part of me. And so but when I look back on it, it was because of all the experiences I had to go through and have to learn that had brought me in today. Like, I'm going to school already with the book written. I'm going to school already with all the fortunately and unfortunately, with all the experiences that has been lined up that I call a blessing today. So it like I said, the how truly does belong to God.
Yeah, exactly. Because it just shows that God can use anyone, and that every single person has a purpose, you know. And if you've been following Edna for some time now, especially on social media, she just shared recently, she put together this video so beautifully, and it showed her journal entry from in 2015 all the way to saying that she want to write a book, and then all the way to finishing the book on the day that she finished it. And then also just talking about purpose, you know, how each one of us have a purpose. It's what are you good at, you know, all those things, and then finding the need and meeting that need. And she captured everything so beautifully. And just seeing Edna with, you know, her sharing her story from all that you've accomplished thus far, Edna, you know, and being awarded this scholarship because, like you said, it's just for believing in you, you know, like I believe in myself enough to apply for the scholarship. At the same time, like, we believe in you, Edna. Edna has been part of one of our co-hosts for, I think, like a year now, or sometime. Not a year. It feels like a year. And then also,
This year.
yes, and then also being one.
So much already happened.
Okay. And then also being one of our teachers at our Little Champs Academy. And let me tell you, before Edna came, you know, it was just me and Sally working side by side. Anna's there too, but she has another work, and then she has, on her days off, she's working anyways. So when me and Sally are working together, you know, big sister, big bulldog, little bulldog. So, you know, there's always times where we're, you know, bumping heads with one another. But since having Edna come join us, we still have our moments, you know, as sisters, but everything has worked out so beautifully. Edna has a different perspective, a different outlook on things, or how to bring, you know, our lessons together, or what games to choose on this day, and just so many things that Edna has done to help pick up the load that we carry, you know, as teachers and directors of the Little Champs, and all the events that we have planned out from them, from field trips to caroling, just every single thing. Edna has stepped in and has truly showed her superpower. And like she said, making others feel welcomed. Every time we have a new parent come in, that's the best thing that she does. She's the first one to go and greet them. She's the first one to get to know their name and talk to them and tell them what Little Champs is about. And it's always just so exciting. And I am just I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm so excited to see all the things that Ender's going to accomplish as she starts school. I think literally like next week or next month. It's literally
On the first.
the 1st of June. It's right around the corner. Okay. So she's going, she's taking off and she's running.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kim, because that's very true. You know, just having Edna as part of our team, and Edna, you sharing that, you know, on this team, we truly believe we're not just focused on the outside, like the work on the outside.
Yeah.
It truly starts right here at this table. And that begins with empowering each other and to use our superpower to meet the needs around us and all of that stuff. And you've been, you know, doing exactly that. And to see you really, like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. You two were born to fly. And that's something that we're seeing, and you're really taking off. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to witness and just seeing all of the ways that you've been, you know, exploring and discovering, because all these things are already within you. This wasn't something that, you know, was given to you from outside. This was something that was already in you from the moment that you were created, you know, that you were knit in your mother's womb with all of these things already put into you. And so it's just a beautiful thing to witness, to be a part of, to celebrate. I know last week, just hearing everybody's stories, and when you were talking, I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. But it's, you know, these are happy tears, you know, and we've cried our share of other tears, but to be able to be where we are today, right? This was a good one. Like, I'll cry any day over that. But it was really special to be a part of. So thank you for sharing that, Kim, because that's so true. And if you guys are watching and you see me, I'm always looking down. It's because I'm watching the comments on the live, because I don't want to miss anything that anybody's saying. I want to make sure that you're a part of the conversation just as much as we are here, sitting physically here. But yes, I just want to shout out, you know, Wells Adventures. Just thank you so much for sharing. Sally was the MC at our event, and she did a beautiful job with her baby in tow. You know, one thing about us that we truly believe is that kids don't stop anything. If anything, they push us. You know, if anything, we need to do more because of our children. And so Sally had to MC that evening, and I know that it was a lot because there were people, there were, you know, a lot going on at the same time. And so for Sally to be able to just MC the night, and she did have her baby Luisa in tow. If you know Sally, you know that her newborns are just an extension of her body. They just grow out of her. And so, you know, she had Luisa, and she was there emceeing the night. It was beautiful. And so just seeing her operate too in her superpower, being able to do that, you know, with many kids around, but being able to be in that moment and for what it was for, it was a beautiful thing to see. Sally is also our photo, like the behind the scenes.
She makes us look really good.
Right. If you see a picture and you're like, wow, Anna looks so pretty. No, Sally. Sally. No, thank you for, like, what I love is that you agreed right away. And that makes me feel so good.
Not what I meant.
That's what she meant.
Yeah. But like Sally really does, she really, that's truly her gift. And her gift, it's not taking pictures. Her gift is really capturing the essence, capturing the beauty of someone, capturing it naturally. And she brings it to life in a way that I can't, with a phone, but mind you, with just an
I told
iPhone.
her yesterday, I said, your superpower is just freeze time.
Yeah.
Yes.
She really does. She really captures time, and she captures everything you're feeling in that moment beautifully on camera. So for Sally to be able to do that, and everybody too, just the whole team, you know, just being there. I mean, shout out to the Lions Club, you know, Mid-City Pacific Islanders Lions Club. And I'm sorry, I wanted to go through the sponsors, through the sponsors of the evening, everybody, you know, all these community partners, all of the work that we are doing could not be done in this beautiful way without people who are like-minded, who have the same vision, who put in the work to move this mission forward. And so I just want to say thank you to these community partners. And like I said, the Mid-City Pacific Islanders Lions Club, you know, Edner being the VP, she has her Lions Club shirt on right now. Thank you for representing Edner, but just, you know, shout out to them. We have the La Mosse Trailblazer Foundation. And this was another special thing for me to witness, was being able to see La Mosse Trailblazer Foundation come to life in sponsoring 2 students. If you guys don't know about Lau was also a guest on our podcast. the last year, I
think.
last year, and he got to share his struggles and his story. Working, he's a first responder and working in the community that he was raised in, and coming back and putting into that same community, providing the service that he does, and not just that, but being able to now be a sponsor and sponsor two other students that are going into the same field, going into the medical field, into that world, and putting out more people who look like, more of our community out there, pouring back into our community. It's been a beautiful thing to just see his entire journey. And so you can go back and see that episode on our podcast about him sharing his story and sharing his struggles. It's a really beautiful story about never giving up, about not seeing a closed door, about the end of the road not being the end of the road. And his story really does inspire. And so it was a really special thing to witness his foundation come to life and to already be making an impact in our community. So shout out to La Mose Trailblazer Foundation, and also Aina Life and Health, who has been an early sponsor from the beginning, and a community partner that is so beloved to us. And Aina Life and Health, they continue to, in every way that they can, showing up for the community, showing up for these students. So thank you so much, Gail. And also Dos Amores for giving us a space. I mean, we're here right now, sharing our stories and giving us this welcoming space to be able to do what it is we do. We've said it many times, our Little Champs, we call this place home. Our foundation, we call this place home. And so thank you so much. If you see the pictures from that evening, and you see how beautiful the venue was, that was right here next door here at Dos Amores. So shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. Also, the Commercial Bank of Texas. The Commercial Bank of Texas came, they're here in the community, the one on Forest Ridge, and they saw everything that was happening in the community. They wanted to sponsor, and they jumped on board as quickly as they could. And we're just so appreciative for their sponsorship, for their support, and to be able to do the work in this community together with them. And also shout out to the Central Baptist Church Sunday School, because they were also able to sponsor. And if you see or were at the event, you saw that Miss Frida was the one who was here with everyone else from the Sunday School. Miss Frida was the one who presented the check, and she's also been very supportive from the start. Anything that has to do with kids and empowering and equipping children and the youth, Miss Frida is always for it. And so shout out to everybody, Central Baptist Church Sunday School class, for that, and also for giving the Mid-City Pacific Islanders Lions Club a home to meet every single week when we have our meetings. And so everything that we're doing, last but not least, I'm so sorry, shout out to the Little Champs. The Little Champs also sponsored, and that's a very, very special thing that's close and near and dear to my heart. I know you guys, of course, you guys talk about it all the time. But it's just, to be able to see these kids, for them to know that we did that, for them to look at that scholarship and know that they made a difference, that they truly went and, put in the work to be able to make this difference in their community. It's been a beautiful thing. Little Champs is the second year that they've been able to sponsor, and then their first year sponsoring a college kid. So for Little Champs and Tiki Landscaping as well, all of these community partners, it's such a beautiful thing when you can serve your community together with others, and to see these groups come around us. And I'm so sorry, Kim is being distracted. Just wait till we turn off this camera, because this one over here. But yes, it's just a special thing to be able to do this with all these community partners, because it's not just about, that working together, but it's about the purpose behind it. It's about everybody working towards the same goal. And so it's been a beautiful thing. Exactly. To be a part of. That's been a special thing to be a part of. Okay. You don't have anything to write down in this? Okay. But yes, just shout out to everybody. I'm looking forward to doing it again next year. The award ceremony must have ended. Graduation's coming up, all that good stuff, but the work does not end. It continues to grow. The vision continues to grow. And so thank you to everybody that's been supportive the entire way. Thank you to those who tune into the episode, who share, all of the things that we're doing. Sometimes, support comes in many different forms, not just financial. It comes in just showing up. up for people, just like those that showed up that evening for those graduates. And I know how special it was for them because it was special for me. And so in that same way, you know, that support for everybody who continues to share our stories, to share our events, to take part of it, to volunteer, to come and see what we're up to ask questions, to keep the conversation going. We really thank you for that. Thank you for taking a part of what it is that we're doing in any kind of way that you're able to. So I want to say thank you to them. And if this is your first time joining in, you know, welcome. We're going to be here for a long time. Join us next week is going to be a perfect time because we're jumping right back into Formed Underwater. We're going into chapter 2. It's been a beautiful series so far. I'm learning more and more myself as I walk through the pages of this book, and I know I know that the same is true for my co-hosts Edna and Kim, and I would love for you to be a part of that journey. I want you guys to walk this journey with us. This journey is not me knowing all the answers. This journey is me discovering these truths, and I want you to walk alongside us, and let's do this together. You know, your book, you can find it on Amazon. It's called Breathe Underwater. And if you look up the Casati Foundation, you'll see that we have other material. What did I say?
Breathe underwater.
Breathe. I'm breathing underwater right now. I'm breathing underwater right now, guys. But it's called Formed Underwater. And if you look online, our foundation also has other material, children's books. And that's because that is the learning material and curriculum for our little champs. So everything that is part of our library is truly a resource material for us as mentors in our organization, as leaders. And so we would like for you to walk along to take this journey with us. So, you know, you can get your book, be here next week. If you want to come in person, we would love that. I love when people come in person. And sometimes they come grab a bite to eat and they just follow along with our story and they're learning at the same time. So we're all students, we're all studying, and we're all doing this together. And I'd love to invite you guys to come so that we can pick back up next week and do that. This is a busy week for everybody, I know. And so if you have a graduate, I want to say congratulations to you. Congratulations to your graduate. And I know that everybody's going to have a great time celebrating. Also, if you are having a feast, you can always invite me. I'm not sure if I've ever put that out there before.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's common knowledge.
For
I want it
sure.
to be. So if you're having some kind of celebration and there's food around, preferably island food, you can always invite us. We'd be so happy to be there to root for you guys, to cheer you guys on. But yes, thank you, ladies, for being here. Edna, thank you. I know you had a busy schedule. Thank you for not calling in today. But we do this again next time. So we'll catch you guys next week, 11:30, Dustin Morris.
I mean, we're doing this all summer, right, Anna?
All summer long, girl. You thought you were going to take a break? No, you're coming back. But we'll see you guys next time on another episode of What Anna Said podcast. Bye. I'm just going to throw it back out before Kim turns on the camera. If you want to invite me, you can. Okay? Put your right car like,